Welcome back. Today we're going to do the lower bracing on the Mark 1 chassis. We're going to do from the front of the control arm to the rear of the control arm, from the other side, the passenger side, brace it, do an X brace across. So it's kind of like a lower subframe for the chassis. This will reduce the flex, and especially because this is a weak point in the Mark 1 chassis. If you take a look, there's not a lot of material there, it flexes a lot, so we want to try to reduce that amount of flex by stabilizing it with a crossbar so it has equal pressure across. Alrighty, now that the car is up in the air, we can take down some basic measurements. From this point of the control arm, we'll figure out the dimensions. To the end of this control arm, figure out those dimensions. And then what we'll need to do a cross brace for underneath. Alright, so now that we have our 3/16 steel marked up for the measurements we need for the two lower brackets, we're going to start cutting them up, measuring again, bending so we could form it for the cross bracing. Okay, so now we got one of the brackets cut up. We're gonna mark it from here to here, figure out the length of there, and then after we mark it, we're gonna bend it so that it folds in over the control arm slightly, so that the pipe can be welded from this point across to that point of this bracket that bolts up to the control arm. Now that we got it formed to the shape we would like it to be shaped, and then we can angle it depending on where we want our tube to be. Well, yeah, so far that's looking pretty good. Okay, so now we can remove the 17, or the 18 rather, and then we can start marking. Alright, it's not easy to do with one hand, but I'm getting there. We're getting there. We have the bolt out. Now we can see how flush it sits, get a better idea of where the bracket will sit. That's pretty nice. Alright, now we gotta mark the center of this bolt hole onto the bracket, drill the hole, and then test fit again. So I got the hole made, and now we're gonna test fit it properly. There. Now I'm going to keep it on a slight angle so that the pipe can come down, so it can curve, so it doesn't interfere with my exhaust, my headers, and my transfer, or sorry, not the transfer case, what am I trying to show you here? Differential. So my differential will sit about right here. I'm doing a lot of Italian hand gestures. That's okay, I'm Italian, so I can do that. There we go. Well, half Italian. There we go, that side's done. Now we just gotta make up the other side. And then once everything's together, we could do the rear one and make it look pretty afterwards. Alrighty, now we got this all matched up to the other bracket we made. Now I just gotta drill a hole and we'll be good to go. This side is finally complete, and this side's finally complete. match each other fairly well, considering I don't have proper tools to cut. Oh well. Anyways, next we're gonna measure the distance between this point to this point. We're gonna mark it up and then cut the pipe. We're gonna give ourselves an inch to play with, just in case we need to cut a little less. But cutting more is better in this situation, because if you overcut, then you're just wasting material, and now you can't really use it for this area. So I'm gonna cut like an inch more on top of my measurement, just in case. So we're gonna start measurement and start making that brace. So I measured about 2 feet on the dot, but I gave myself an extra inch for each side, just in case I want to mandrel bend each side so that it has a 45-degree angle coming down from the mounts. Right about there. So I'm gonna mark where the extra 1 inch is, so I could bend that area into a 45 slightly on each side. So I got it tacked into place for now, and that's not too bad, not too shabby so far. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Alright, let's truck on. Got her all welded up. So the lower section's all complete. Now I gotta start working on the rear section. But so far it's coming along pretty nicely. So I decided to go a little bit of a different route instead of bracing underneath, because I come to a conclusion, once my collectors are in, I won't have much space for an X brace. So the next best thing to do is a K brace. So I'm just gonna K brace it off of the chassis, and it provides a little bit more support for here as well. Yeah, don't look at those wells, those are horrible. That's a little bit better. And drilled a hole for it. Cut one side already, and I think that'll do well. Nothing too crazy. See how it comes out. So this is the semi-finished product. Pretty happy with it. I think it came out well, and it's gonna do its job. Obviously I'm gonna round off the corners, clean it up, clean up the welds, and paint it. I'm not sure what color I want to paint it. I don't even know what theme I want to do inside the engine bay, but I want to keep it pretty simplistic. Running out of time, but if you joined in with me today and watched the video, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you guys soon on the next project.